May 2, 2025. Dawn breaks over the quiet forests of Pictou County, Nova Scotia. Helicopters circle overhead. K9 units comb the ridgelines. And at the center of it all, a rural home on Gairloch Road, Lansdowne Station. Inside that home lived Lilly Sullivan, just 6 years old, and her younger brother Jack, only 4. By mid-morning, both children were gone. According to their parents, the day began like any other. The couple stayed in their bedroom with the baby, while Lilly drifted in and out, checking on them. Jack's small footsteps echoed in the kitchen. Then, silence. No laughter. No voices. And by 10 o'clock, a frantic 911 call. The children's stepfather later claimed the sliding glass door at the back of the home makes almost no sound. His belief that Lilly and Jack may have slipped outside unnoticed. This detail has never been independently verified. By 12:25 p.m., the RCMP issued their first public alert. The working theory? That the children had wandered away from home. At that time, investigators stressed there was no evidence of abduction. What followed was one of the largest ground searches in Pictou County history. Between 100 and 160 trained volunteers joined RCMP units. Helicopters scanned the tree line. Drones circled overhead. K9 handlers traced scent trails into steep banks, dense brush, and thick forest. For 6 long days, search teams called out the children's names. But by May 7th, nothing. No clothing. No footprints. Not a single trace. The official search was scaled back, and the mystery deepened. 2 children vanished from their own home in broad daylight. No witnesses. No evidence. And no clear answers. Before we continue, if you value fact-driven true crime investigations, remember to like this video and subscribe. It helps keep cases like Lilly and Jack's alive, and ensures they are never forgotten. The disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan quickly shifted from a desperate search to a complex investigation. The RCMP described their response as an intensive approach. Investigators collected and reviewed hundreds of hours of surveillance video. More than 54 interviews were conducted. Polygraph testing was used on select individuals. And multiple legal authorizations allowed the seizure and examination of phones, computers, and other materials. Specialized units, including major crime and criminal analysis, were brought in. From the very beginning, officers warned that this case may take far longer than anyone had hoped. One of the few confirmed updates came in the form of a timeline adjustment. Police verified that Lilly and Jack were seen in public with their family on May 1st, the day before they were reported missing. But the exact location of that sighting has never been revealed, withheld to protect the integrity of the investigation. Polygraph examinations became a point of public curiosity. Reports surfaced that the children's stepfather had taken one. But law enforcement officials were quick to remind the public polygraph results are not admissible in court. They are merely an investigative tool, useful in guiding questions, but never as proof. As days turned into weeks, the community rallied. Posters with Lilly and Jack's faces filled storefront windows, gas stations, and telephone poles. Tip lines recorded hundreds of calls. And the province announced a reward of up to 150,000 Canadian dollars for information that could move the investigation forward. At the same time, social media lit up. Thousands of comments and threads debated the case, some questioning why an Amber Alert wasn't issued, others speculating about what might have happened behind closed doors. The RCMP urged caution, reminding the public that speculation is not evidence. Still, experts weighed in. Policing analysts noted that the sheer scope of resources being used bore the hallmarks of a potential criminal investigation, even as the RCMP repeated that all scenarios remain open. 2 children, missing without a trace. A case growing heavier with unanswered questions. And with every passing day, the line between accident and crime blurred further. As the weeks stretched into months, the search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan transformed into something far more intricate. The ground sweeps had ended. The vigils quieted. And yet, inside police headquarters, the case file grew taller, stacks of drives, binders, and transcripts. Hundreds of hours of video footage were collected. But much of it remains locked away, unseen by the public, guarded to protect the integrity of the investigation. The last confirmed sighting of the children is still May 1st, seen in public with their family. Where, exactly? That detail remains undisclosed. The secrecy has only deepened the mystery. This is where we introduce a new perspective, a seasoned detective, fictionalized here, tasked with re-examining every thread. They lay out the evidence across a whiteboard. And the questions begin to surface. Why was there no Amber Alert issued at first? The answer lies in policy. Without clear signs of abduction, the RCMP defaulted to a vulnerable persons advisory instead. For investigators, thresholds matter. For families, it feels like delay. What about the polygraphs? We know some were administered, possibly even to the stepfather. But polygraphs are never conclusive. They are not admissible in court. At best, they shape the direction of questioning. At worst, they muddy the waters. And then, the sliding door. The stepfather claimed it was nearly silent, that two small children could slip out without a sound. But memory is tricky. Was it truly noiseless? Or does trauma reshape what we believe we heard or didn't hear? For a detective, it's a testable question, but not yet an answered one. Psychological profiling modules offer frameworks, not verdicts. At ages 4 and 6, children are naturally curious, eager to imitate each other, driven by novelty. In rugged terrain, exposure risks rise quickly. But investigators must also weigh other possibilities. Sometimes, inconsistencies in family accounts, too tight a timeline, vague but polished details signal areas that demand closer scrutiny. Not proof of guilt, but patterns worth testing. And beyond the home lies another theory: accidental wandering followed by third-party contact. Stranger involvement is rare, but it cannot be dismissed. Our detective circles a date on the board, May 1st. A small camera icon beside it. The question hangs heavy: what does the unseen footage reveal? And perhaps more importantly, what are we not allowed to see yet? As of August 21, 2025, the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan remains unsolved. The RCMP insists the investigation is active, multi-unit, intensive, and ongoing. Yet there have been no arrests, no publicly named suspects, and no trial. For the family, for the online, speculation fills the silence. Theories range from stranger abduction to more elaborate cover-ups. But most clash with the facts publicly confirmed by the RCMP. In cases like this, responsible reporting matters. Conjecture may captivate, but only verifiable records can lead us closer to the truth. Community, it is still a waiting game. But the unanswered questions linger like shadows. Where, exactly, were Lilly and Jack last seen on May 1st? Who else, if anyone, appears in the footage investigators have kept sealed? Is there evidence to support the theory of abduction, or could it have been an accidental exit followed by contact with another party? And what about the data, the phones, the vehicles, the electronic breadcrumbs? Could geolocation forensics finally narrow the window of time and prove one scenario over another? For those watching, the call remains urgent. If you were near Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station on May 1st or May 2nd, 2025, and saw anything, however small, investigators still want to hear from you. Nova Scotia RCMP and Crime Stoppers remain the lines of contact. And the reward up to 150,000 Canadian dollars still stands for information of investigative value. For those watching, the call remains urgent. If you were near Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station on May 1st or May 2nd, 2025, and saw anything, however small, investigators still want to hear from you. Nova Scotia RCMP and Crime Stoppers remain the lines of contact. And the reward up to 150,000 Canadian dollars still stands for information of investigative value. The final image lingers. Small boots at the edge of the tree leaned pink for Lilly, blue with dinosaurs for Jack. Silent reminders of two children who vanished without a trace. Somewhere, the truth is still out there. And someone, somewhere, has already seen it.